everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Queen's Conversations and today's episode, Creatives Navigating COVID. My name is Luchia Dragosh.
I'm John Collins.
Hi, everyone. I'm Noran Omar.
And we have 5 incredible guests today. I'll let them introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll start with some questions. So let's go ahead with Phil. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, thanks, Luchia. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon. My name is Phil Cappadora, and I'm the founder and president of the Astoria Filmmakers Club. And we are a nonprofit public charity filmmaking organization that actually focuses on bringing filmmakers together so that they could collaborate independently throughout New York City on their own projects. And we started out as just a simple networking table conversation every Wednesday night type of a meetup, and slowly but surely over 100 people showed up before New Year's of 2020. And then we boomed. A lot of people wanted to collaborate. They wanted to actually take this and grow it into something more. And I thought it was a great idea. So we did. We became a nonprofit in February, right before the pandemic. And of course, the pandemic slowed everybody down, but with a lot of grind and a fantastic podcast, we persevered. And by September, we became a 501c3.
Eytan.
Thank you.
My name is Eytan Mirsky, and I'm a singer and songwriter. And I'm probably best known for the songs that I did for the film Happiness, directed by Todd Solondz, American Splendor, which was nominated for a Best Screenplay Oscar, and The Tao of Steve, in which I had 3 songs in there. And I've had songs in some other films. And then I do my own music. I'm working on my 8th album right now.
Amazing. Ariel, can you please tell us about yourself?
Noran. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ariel Polanco, and I'm a dancer and stage actor. I perform with a handful of companies in the city. The Elysee Dance Theater is one of them, who just came off a tour early January last year. I also perform with the Russian Arts Theater and Studio, as well as Blessed Unrest. And yeah, that's what I've done so far.
Great. Adrienne?
Adrienne Whaley. I'm the founder and the executive director for Queens Underground Black and Brown Film Festivals. We're a 501c3 as well. And we started out as a physical studio space where we had open mic nights with dance, poetry, we had movie nights, and it transformed into a film festival that has everything. So we have movies, music, dance, poetry, videos, web series episodes, business commercials, documentaries, podcasts, talk shows, the whole bit. And ours is coming up February 20th, which is Saturday, is going to be free, Facebook Live. And then we pick it back up outdoors and virtual the latter part of April. Jamaica, Queens, New York. That's the first thing I'm supposed to say, right? We're in Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Barbara.
Hey guys. Yes. Hey John, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. My name is Barbara, but my artist name I go by Elysee. I'm from Jamaica, Queens. I also work with Adrienne. I'm her production manager for the film festival. So, we get together and, we coordinate everything and basically produce the show. Aside from that, I'm also a music artist. That's my love. That's my heart. That's what I do all the time. So, I have a couple of singles out. I'm a singer, rapper, songwriter, as well as a co-director. So not only do I work behind the scenes, as far as like putting it out there, I actually work with films as well. So I just recently co-directed my first film. It's an LGBT film called A Tale of Love. And it was released, I believe, like the end of October, top of November. We have, thousands of views on it, and it continues to grow every day. So, something I'm proud of. So that's a little bit about me.
That's great, Barbara. That's really good. Eytan, This pandemic has had a devastating effect on society, on our economy, and certainly one of the sectors that took one of the hardest hits was the entertainment industry. As a professional musician, can you give us some idea of the impact this had on your life and your livelihood?
Sure. I actually probably had it the easiest in terms of working on my art than anyone else here because actually for the last probably about 8 years, I've belonged to a group called Theme Music, in which a friend of mine set up online on Facebook, which he posts a theme, and then people can either write an original song or do a cover and post it within that 2-week period. And then basically, I've been collaborating with people all over the world, and you know, someone will record one instrument in one place, and someone else, you know, do another track in another place, and we share the files, and then someone else will mix it, and we were making videos and all that. So I'm used to collaborating with people all over the place. And as far as my own music, though, so I'm working on an album now, and had started it before the pandemic, and I'm doing it in a friend of mine's studio. His name is John Gordon. He used to play with Suzanne Vega. You might know him from Luca. He was played the guitar solo in that, but and he worked with Madonna. Anyway, when the pandemic started, we just shifted to doing everything remotely. So again, you know, I'll give him like a demo. He'll create tracks. We'll build it up. We'll get other instruments. You know, we've had horn sections, people playing sax in their, you know, apartments or home studios, the trumpet. Well, he actually relocated because he was in Chelsea, and because of the pandemic, basically no one could come to the studio anymore. He relocated upstate, where rents are cheaper, and so he's had some of the musicians there, but generally just having different people record their parts wherever they are and then mixing it together. So you know, things can continue without much interruption. The only difference is, obviously, you can't really perform live anymore because in New York City, there are no clubs. Before the pandemic, I was supposed to do a big show at the Mercury Lounge, and they kept wanting to delay it, and then it got ridiculous because I could see that their live music was not going to come back very soon. So I mean, ultimately, I just said, well, let's just, you know, cancel it for now and reschedule it when things clear up, which we were still waiting a year later. So
yeah, I bet. And the live scene may not come back for quite some time.
Right, but I have done some live shows, you know, through things like what we're doing now, where I've done Facebook live shows, and also you can stream through YouTube. I'm sure there are other ways to stream. So, you know, you set up a show and tell people about it, and they can tune in and request songs, and, you know, you can communicate with them through their, you know, the chats on the side. So it's fun. You can still do a show, and you don't even have to leave your house. It's very easy.
So actually, Ariel, I'm not sure if you were as lucky as Eytan to work from home and dance at home. I wanted to know, how is that process going for you? Are you creating dance from home? How has COVID impacted and that helped you navigate arts through COVID?
Oh, sister, I'm still trying to figure it out. Look, when all this started happening, I was telling Luchia that I just came off a tour in Japan and got back to the studio. Everything was normal, and then you started hearing trickles of the virus heading, you know, coming to the news, and soon then Andrew Cuomo just kind of shut everything down, right? So once Broadway was shut down, everything was shut down, and it was hard because, you know, I spent majority of over a decade just, you know, being in the studio. I'm either rehearsing, performing, rehearsing, and this is the first time in a long time where there was no meeting, right? You couldn't, I mean, as the dancer, being in a space with your other fellow dancers is what it's all about. Collaborative work was out the window. And I attempted to do some online classes here and there. And that proved challenging. I mean, it wasn't as engaging. You couldn't see all the movement. You weren't in the class. This energy that you miss from being in a room with people. And it was hard. So I kind of, there's moments where I just didn't feel very inspired, moments where I just didn't do much, right? But I did take the time I just rested, took care of my body. I meditated a lot. I joined a public speaking group because there was this need to, well, how can I use my skill in a different way? Right? Ultimately, I am a communicator somehow, whether it's on stage as a dancer or as an actor. So I joined Toastmasters and became a part of that. So I found ways around it, and I just started working with this theater company called Blessed and Rest, and we're doing a project for May, hopefully of everything outdoors. So patience is rewarding me. And also I look forward to seeing what comes out of this time of rest, right? Because when things get back to some kind of regular frequency, then we'll see what this energy is pent up will deliver. So it's been difficult, but at the same time, it's been fruitful.
Thanks, Ariel. What about you, Phil? Can you share with us what was before and what is now during COVID? How things shifted for you?
Honestly, it was definitely a blessing more than a curse, because it really I think it really gave us an opportunity, because we've been in such a time is money process type of a creative industry where we could just say, stop, enough. Why don't we actually just stop and actually pay attention to the stories we are telling, how we're actually impacting the lives we are impacting? But that's on a much bigger scale. And I think it was definitely a much needed, because we were going nowhere. It was just a cycle. It wasn't actually like real expressionism and real art. There was something, it was disconnected from ourselves in a way, and we weren't able to really connect with other people. And this now was more of a blessing, in my opinion, because now we're actually yearning to really just connect with another human being. As far as the Astoria Filmmakers Club goes, because we did grow relatively not too quick, too soon, because we're all strangers. None of us really know each other. Not really, not enough to really trust one another. But once we became a nonprofit, it really gave us an opportunity to just sort of like set our course on what it is we wanted to do as a community. Because the Astoria Filmmakers Club is actually built on 3 core principles. It's community, creativity, and joy. And that's what we want to focus on why we're actually doing this. Because everybody comes to New York City from all around the country, all around the world, to be this show business, something. But and they should want to do that. But sometimes, you know, you go down the wrong path. And I've fallen into many traps in Manhattan where a modeling agency was definitely not a modeling agency, or yes, an acting class was definitely not an acting class. So I wanted to make sure, like, I was not going to create something that already existed. I wanted to create something trustworthy. So by making it a nonprofit, it's not a property. It'll never belong to me. I'm just responsible for it. It is the Astoria Filmmakers Club. It will belong to this community long after I resign. That's the point. Constitution, all that stuff, concrete it's not gonna budge. So I wanted to make sure, especially now that we're not over creating, and I don't have to make a living as an actor right now, and I don't have to do anything other than focus on what it was that I started. I wanted to create change here in the industry, because you could get lost doing this, and sometimes you won't remember. You lose yourself too easily in this. So I wanted to make sure that there's a space where you could actually have some sort of trust with the people in that room, because they're there for one reason and one reason only. It's because they care about the community. They are creative, and they do want to create impact with their storytelling, and they actually enjoy what they do. It's not about the money. It will, like, all of those things will come and fall into place. But if they don't actually enjoy what they do, this is not the club for you. So just rest assured, like, if you're here and they're not, trust that. So
probably that's a best time now that you started and you attracted all these people to your community. Great. So let's go to Adrienne. Adrienne, can you share what was life before, what is now during COVID, and what are your hopes for the future? Where are you going with your project?
Well, with us, the first film festival we did was October 2019. Now, I used to own the video store some years ago. I owned the art studio. So fortunately, I have enough of a creative and professional and educational background to have put this together. So we did the 3 days in October, and it's like, okay, this is great. People showed up early. Then we moved on and did the February at the Jamaica Performing Arts Center, and I'm expecting maybe 100 people. Almost 500 people, showed up. We didn't have enough staffing, right? And it turned out that finally, after all these years of being a creative, I picked the right thing, like yay, because with having all of the different genres and categories, plus we have those music videos, we also have live performances. And when I had the studio, we used to also we had a monthly pop-up shop. So we had the vendors. Then our senator gave out the community awards, and it was red carpet and so on and so forth. So all of that. And right after the February Film Festival, COVID kicked in. It's like, okay, everybody says it's going to be a couple of weeks, there'll be a couple of months. Then we rolled around to the next October Film Festival, and I'm sitting there going, wait, we're finally building up a name. We had submissions from 12 countries. 8 states flew in. We had a lot of politicians. The police department closed the street down. It was fabulous. So now we're sitting there going, okay, the world is shut down. What do you do? So we decided to hold the October 3-day film festival outside. And we did that for the 3 days. So we were able to monitor and control the crowd. So on one hand, it was great, that we were able to continue. But when you're building a brand, and you're trying to get that traction, and because we don't have sponsors, we don't have funding, we don't have a large team. And, the pandemic just took all of us out, but we did have that time to sit down and regroup. So going into February, February 20th, Queens Underground 718.com. It will be free on Facebook Live. Now we're going from having 500 people in person to 5 of us. The team is going to be right here in my living room, joining everyone live. And then we'll pick it back up in April. So this way, April, we'll have 4 days with the live entertainment and the vendors and everything else. And this way it can be in person. Because I think I'm getting emails all the time. Everyone wants to do a panel now. Everyone's missing the red carpet and just missing, being together. So fortunately, we've been able to keep going. And then the venues in New York are closed. The ones in Long Island are still open. However, they want the same amount of money for 20 or 50 people. That's, that's not necessarily the most practical thing. So what we were able to do during this time was find a virtual platform. So we're virtual. And people can go on like you're going to a regular film festival. But someone has said earlier, either Ariel or Phil, now I think it was Ariel, now what's missing is that in-person component. So you're home and it's nice that you can wear your PJs, you can get your popcorn, you can do whatever, but is it the same watching a film festival virtually as it is in person with all of that energy and you're able to network? People did some powerful, networking. A couple of movie studios came out. So all we can do now is just hope that at some point, either we'll be able to afford a better virtual platform or that we're able to get back together. But I do feel for all of the artists, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of people are going into depression. This is, really serious, but we're just going to keep moving forward. This year we have submissions from 15 countries so far, which is pretty cool. So that's more, than the last time. And the films, the work is outstanding, but I want everyone to see it. This was the whole point of doing this. So no matter what type of creative you are, you have a platform where everyone can come together. So we'll see.
Barbara, Phil mentioned 3 pillars of his organization: creativity, community, and enjoy. I think those words are under your yearbook picture, aren't they? Tell us a little bit about the impact that the pandemic has had on your efforts as a filmmaker, the restrictions that you had to fight, and how you conquered them.
Yeah, it was definitely a change, something that I'm still adapting to. You know, just like, you know, they mentioned the in-person thing. That's where I excel. I love networking. I can network, and that's what I do. So, you know, now I have to figure out another way to do it. And the personal touch was, you know, my charm, was my way to get people, you know, to become comfortable with me, to, you know, feel, you know, at ease. So yeah, you know, it's definitely a transition. Definitely cut into my performances, can't perform at all, you know, I'm lying. I definitely did perform outside at an event, but for the most part, most of the shows online, on a live or something like that. And me, I'm not really a fan of that, as I'm sure most people aren't, but it really kind of, you know, sometimes I just don't do it because I'm like, it's not worth it. And it's just something I don't like. I can't connect with people in a real way, so it bothers me. So as far as the acting or the movies, that is something I got into during the COVID heavy. You know, for some reason, people wanted me to do the film thing. I got called to act in a film, and then I got called to direct a film, and that was like within a month. So I'm like, okay, let me just go with that. Let me take that route to fulfill, you know, my creative urge. You know, I'm a creative. I just need to do something that's creative, and I'll feel a little bit at ease. So, you know, I was doing that. I did my first movie, like I said earlier, co-directed a film called A Tale of Love, an LGBT film. Thousands of views. You could watch it. Everyone can watch it right now on YouTube, A Tale of Love, and you'll see it. It's an amazing film. I traveled to Maine with like 12 other people. We packed everybody in like a Sprinter van, and we was out, and we rented like a huge cabin for like a week or so. And we shot most of the movie there. And we came back to New York to shoot the remaining scenes. But that is something I really, really needed during this whole pandemic, because like I said, the performing, I just wasn't feeling it. You know, I wasn't feeling it. So that's something I was thankful for. And I also went to Vegas, the other movie I was called on. I was actually acting in it. I have a co-starring role. It's a holiday film. It's gonna come out end of this year. I don't have an exact date, but it's gonna be dope. I've seen it. It's a real good movie. I traveled to Las Vegas to shoot this one, and I just gotta say, it's my baby. It's just my baby, and it's gonna be a real dope movie. I met a lot of people from all over the country, and yeah, I just can't wait for everybody to see it.
Actually,
Noran?
Sorry, John. Phil, you were actually speaking about building a community. How can other actors and artists get involved in Astoria Film Club, and where can they reach out to?
Through Instagram is one of the best ways to get in touch with us directly. Facebook was a pretty good tool in the beginning, just to host Zoom meetups and whatnot. Every week on Wednesday nights, we're still hosting virtual meetups for new people to come in, introduce themselves. How'd you hear about the club? What brings you here, etc. So if you do have Facebook, we do have a private page. I think it looks like somebody's writing, because we're in creative mode right now. If you go to Astoria Filmmakers Club, or / Astoria Filmmakers Club, you'll see a likable page. That's just a community page, but there is a private page, because if anybody wants to share private content, they just want to have it amongst the group or a DM, it's private, let you guys talk amongst yourselves. But that's been the primary way we've actually built the community And I think we got 470 people in that group right now.
Great. We have 2 minutes left. I just want to ask if any of you during this time have any, because I'm sure that was time for reflection, like Ariel mentioned, but do you have any thoughts of maybe changing direction in your life, or any regrets, or not regrets, but did you want to change direction in your life? Did this time make you think about your life in general?
Luchia, that's a very interesting question. For me, certainly, I think to echo Adrienne's comment that, you know, some artists have felt a bit depressed because you question your skill set, you question where you belong, you question if things will get back to normal. You've seen the vulnerabilities of being an artist in this industry, and so it's a lot of avenues that you get hit with at once. So on my end, I haven't, but I have been reflective. Okay, what's next? What do I want to do? What should I have been doing that I wasn't doing? Because now, really, you know, not only is life short, but your career could be short too. So you certainly have to push those boundaries. But I think these times also present opportunities, right? I've worked with the Russian Arts Theater and Studio, and you know, it's a small company, but they went from having in-show performances to going digital and creating these digital projects that are beautiful. So if they could do something like that, they're nimble and flexible, then what can I do, right? Like to echo Barbara, like, is it going behind the camera, right? Is it thinking about that way? How can I be a storyteller, both in front and behind, right? So those are kind of thoughts that I've been wondering about, and now that things get back to normal, I'll see, you know, where that takes me.
I think that's all the time we have. Sorry to interrupt, but thanks for everyone watching, and we'll see you next time on Queen's Conversations.
See you in the new normal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye, and good luck to all of you.